Let's talk to Fiona McAnena, though. She's the Director of Campaigns at Sex Matters, because here's a story that'll wake you up for the first or last day of the year. Apparently hundreds of trans hospital patients have been admitted to hospital as women, despite having conditions only suffered by men. Now, stick with me on this, because it's quite difficult to explain. Analysis by The Sun suggested at least 482 were admitted as female in a year, despite having prostate, testicle or penis issues. Sorry, where are you going? I'm off to the women's ward. Really? What's wrong with you? I've got something wrong with my penis. Right, OK then. Fiona, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
I mean, it sounds comical, but of course it's quite a serious story, this, and it's not comical, but it sort of should be. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
I think it shows you the tussle, the kind of mental twists that people get themselves into when they start wanting everyone around them to pretend that they're the other sex.
Yeah.
And, you know, these people's testicles are evidence that you cannot change sex.
Right.
So I can't imagine what it's like for the hospital staff, never mind the other patients, to have men come in demanding to be called women, treated as women, maybe put on a women's ward. And yet they clearly have male health problems.
Yeah. I mean, can't they say in hospitals, and I know this is probably a ridiculous question in the world in which we now live, but why can't they say, look, if you've got a problem which has to do with your genitalia, which is clearly male, then I'm afraid you're going to have to be admitted as a male?
Well, I don't know what it means to be admitted as a male or a female. What matters is that you're in the right ward, that you're not imposing your delusions on other patients or the medical staff. And arguably, the problem goes right back to their medical records with their GP as well, because, you know, you've got one medical record in the NHS. So are these people who have changed their medical records to say they're women, and then, much to the confusion of medical staff, turn up presenting with, you know, one of these male problems. So it just shows you the mess that people get into when they start demanding that everyone else engages in their belief. They should get the healthcare they need, but they really shouldn't be imposing their fantasies on other people.
But it also, I think, leads to sort of misinformation then being produced, doesn't it? Because if they record all of these hospital admissions and they record them as women who are suffering from, say, prostate problems, then suddenly the next time you look at statistics, they go, well, look, here's a load of women with prostate problems. You go, well, no. You've just recorded them as women because they wanted you to, which doesn't make them women.
Yeah, and whilst people will quickly see through that one, where that's happening, and it's very serious, is in criminal records where we're seeing an unexplained rise in sexual assault by women. And guess what, Mike? You know, I think it's because they're men.
Yeah.
And in fact, some analysis has been done on that shows that it is indeed men being recorded as women who are causing an increase in supposed sex crimes by women. So we are getting a distorted view of reality. Right. And it's not good for anyone.
And we know that an awful lot of this is being driven by various different individual NHS trusts, don't we? Because we've seen all over the country various, you know, sort of instances of wording having to be changed, chest feeding instead of breastfeeding, you know, people with cervixes, all that kind of thing. You know, 72 different genders, please sign here, tick there. You know, it's kind of like the place has been gripped by a kind of madness.
Yeah, and it seems like women are not allowed to call ourselves women, but men are allowed to call themselves women. Right. You know, something's going very wrong here. And it's good that we're talking about it. It's good that the Department of Health has started to push back a little bit on this. I think there's a lot further to go, but the Tories proposed to amend the NHS constitution, and Wes Streeting seems to have supported that. So let's see. Right. You know, healthcare is important, and it doesn't need to be messed up with this kind of nonsense. No,
it really doesn't. And I mean, is there anything that say organisations like your own can do to pressurise the healthcare systems of this country on behalf of women?
Yes, well, we and many others are doing that, both in terms of requiring single-sex wards, and also saying that recording data is really important. You know, there's some basic facts about people that can't change. One of them is whether you're male or female. It's important in many aspects of life. And we really need to get back to a system where that fundamental truth is recorded. You don't have to broadcast it, but sometimes it matters. And so that's an area we're also looking at.
Good stuff. We'll keep up the good work. We'll see what we can do to support it. Fiona, thank you very much indeed. Fiona McAnena, Director of Campaigns at Sex Matters.